Background: the Chundawat family, also known to neighbors as the Bhatia family, lived in a two-story house in the Santnagar area of Burari for about 20 years, having migrated from their hometown in Rajasthan. The family ran a grocery store and a plywood shop in the area. The family included Narayani Devi, 77, her two sons Pavnesh, 50, and Lalit, 45, daughters-in-law Savita, 48, and Tina, 42, Narayani's daughter Pratibha Bhatia, née Chundawat, 57, and grandchildren. Priyanka, 33, Pratibha's daughter, Neetu, 25, Pavnesh's eldest daughter, Monu, 23, Pavnesh's youngest daughter, Dhruv, 15, Pavnesh's youngest son, and Shivam, 15, Lalita's only child. In 2007, Lalit Chundawat's father, Bhopal Singh, died of natural causes. After his father's death, Lalit became very withdrawn and often behaved strangely. One day, he told his family that he was possessed by his father's spirit, which was showing him the path to a good life. Since 2013, he has kept a diary following his father's instructions. Discovery of bodies. On the morning of July 1st, around 7:15 a.m., neighbor Gurcharan Singh, who usually went for morning walks with one of the deceased, went to the Chundawat home after noticing that Lalit Chundawat hadn't come out for his walk and that the shops hadn't opened yet. They usually opened at 6 a.m. Gurcharan Singh found the door of the house open and 10 people, including Lalit Chundawat, hanging. He raised the alarm by calling other neighbors, and the police received the call around 7:30 a.m., arriving shortly thereafter. 10 of the 11 people, 2 men, 6 women, and 2 teenagers, were found hanged on the first floor of the house. They were blindfolded and gagged. Some bodies also had their hands and feet bound. Another woman, 77-year-old Narayani Devi, was found dead in another room. The family members were found hanging from a mesh ceiling in the hallway, all close together in a circle. Their faces were almost completely covered. Their ears were stuffed with cotton wool. Their mouths were taped shut, and their hands were tied behind their backs. There were 5 stools, likely used by all 10 family members. Their faces were covered with pieces of cloth cut from a single bedsheet. The first officer to arrive on the scene, Rajiv Tomar, later described what he saw in the House of Horrors. In my 17 years of service, I've never seen a crime scene like this, and I hope I never have to again. It was shocking. I was there for only 10 to 15 seconds before going down to call my superiors. At that moment, I couldn't see whose hands were tied or whose eyes were closed. I just saw a lot of bodies hanging like tree branches. 8 cell phones belonging to the family were found in a drawer in one of the rooms, taped over and hidden. An autopsy revealed that all 3 had died without a struggle, without other wounds or defensive injuries, with no drugs in their systems, and the cause of death was hanging and strangulation. The family's dog, Tommy, later died of a heart attack in his new home in Noida on Sunday, July 22nd, 2018. Tommy, the only survivor in the house, was chained on the terrace and suffering from a high fever when police found him after the discovery of 11 bodies. It was unclear who chained him. He was later reported to be recovering at the Noida Animal Home, where he was taken immediately after his rescue. Initial investigation. Police stated that the circumstances of the deaths point to a mass suicide with occult motives or murder with occult motives. However, police are also considering the possibility of murder with a motive other than occult. In the early stages of the investigation, police opened a murder case, pursuing it from all angles. However, the lack of survivors and witnesses made this difficult. Interviews with neighbors revealed that in the days leading up to the tragedy, family member Lalit Bhatia exhibited strange behavior. The usually cheerful man became gloomy and withdrawn, engaging in strange behavior, such as praying in front of trees and feeding stray animals. Things became even stranger when he allegedly began claiming that his deceased father was coming to him to speak to him in his dreams, even claiming at one point that the deceased was attempting to possess him. Police found 11 diaries in the house, all written over an 11-year period, and mostly by Lalit. Superintendent of Police, Criminal Investigation Alok Kumar, stated, "We found handwritten notes detailing how to bind hands and feet, and they are very similar to how the bodies of 10 people were found. These are detailed notes, and we are studying them. The details/instructions given in the diaries match the way the bodies were found, with their faces covered, mouths taped, and cotton balls in their ears. The diary also mentions, everyone will tie their hands, and when the Kriya ritual is completed, everyone will help each other untie their hands. This indicates that the family did not expect to die. Lalit's writings do state that they are to be bound and hanged, but it also explains that once this is done, the deceased patriarch will appear to them, speak to them, and that they will be released by a shaking of the earth and sky and will be able to untie each other. One diary entry reads, everyone will tie their hands, and when the Kriya ritual is completed, everyone will help each other to untie their hands. There are also vague references to 4 spirits clinging to the family who will return to their source only if certain actions and rituals are performed. There's also talk of a day of punishment, as well as a ritual designed to allow them to meet their late patriarch, Bhopal Singh, to thank him for all he did for them, as the family business was very successful. This ritual, called Bad Tapasya, according to Lalit, was also meant to free 4 other spirits who had become attached to the family. The notebooks were also filled with scribbles and diary entries spanning 11 years, containing a variety of information, both mundane and terrifying. Much of the writing consists of complaints about various things concerning his family, chastising them for their supposed shortcomings, and grumbling about how the family should change their lifestyle to improve themselves. There are strict instructions about what they should do, how they should behave, and even what their diet should be. Additionally, the diaries contain an entry showing that a few hours before the death, a Havan ritual was performed, which involves burning offerings on a consecrated fire on special occasions. Police Chief Alok Kumar later commented on the logs, saying, "We found handwritten notes detailing how to bind hands and feet, and they're very similar to how the bodies of 10 people were found. These are detailed notes, and we're studying them." Does that mean Lalit was behind all this? Well, It's hard to say because he was among the dead, hanging like everyone else. So, where does that leave us? Further investigations and theories, further evidence emerged, suggesting a strong possibility that Lalit had convinced the family to perform the ritual together as a unit. Neighbors' statements and CCTV footage revealed that two other family members, also among the dead, had purchased the stools found at the scene and the cables used for hanging, along with various other items used in ritual prayers. It was also established that the family had ordered dinner delivery on the evening of the deaths. Given all this, police began to suspect that Lali had somehow convinced them to participate in a mass ritual murder. Extensive interviews with family, friends, and neighbors also painted a psychological portrait of the Chundawats, revealing that they actively planned for future events, eagerly anticipated the future, and were not at all suicidal. Indeed, Priyanka was scheduled to marry the following week in a wedding ceremony the family had painstakingly planned. All of this seems to indicate that, although the occult ritual was undoubtedly flawed, the family likely did not expect that they would actually die while performing it. In light of this, authorities began to view this as a potential case of accidental suicide, resulting from mass hysteria and a botched occult ritual that had deadly consequences. Psychologists have commented that these deaths are the result of a shared psychosis disorder, in which group members blindly trust one of their own and follow instructions without question. Psychologists believe Lalit suffered from a delusional disorder, but nearly 2 years later, the exact circumstances of the deaths remain unclear. Officially, police have classified the hangings as suicides and the strangulations as murder or assisted suicide, but it seems unlikely we'll ever know what really happened.